When winter fell across Europe and the front lines froze solid, soldiers in foxholes faced an invisible enemy: the cold. Frostbite claimed more casualties than bullets in some campaigns, especially in the Ardennes, the Eastern Front, and the Italian Alps. With fuel scarce, fires too risky, and metal stoves noisy or unreliable, troops turned to an ancient, almost forgotten material that kept them alive in silence: soapstone. It wasn't flashy, it didn't glow or smoke or spark, yet this dense gray rock could hold heat for hours, even overnight, and release it slowly without a single flame. Combined with wool wraps or simple insulation tricks, it became a personal heater that worked anywhere. In a foxhole, inside a bunker, or under a blanket. This was the soapstone heating method, a field adaptation of a centuries-old Scandinavian and Russian trick that modern survivalists are just beginning to rediscover. For soldiers, staying warm was about more than comfort. In the freezing mud of the Ardennes or the wind-swept peaks of Monte Cassino, warmth meant survival. But lighting a fire was often impossible. Smoke could betray your position to the enemy. Light from flames could silhouette a man against snow or trees. A death sentence under sniper watch. Even the smell of burning fuel could attract patrols. Fires also ate through supplies. Wood was wet, coal was heavy, and gasoline was precious. That's why soldiers started experimenting with silent heat. They needed something that could hold warmth without producing light, sound, or smell. Something reusable, field-safe, and easy to scavenge. Soapstone, already known in some rural regions for heating homes and stoves, turned out to be the perfect solution. So, soapstone, also known as steatite, is actually a soft metamorphic rock that's made mostly of talc, magnesium, and silica. Its unique structure gives it two special survival properties. It absorbs heat really quickly, and then releases it very slowly. Unlike metal, which cools down fast once you take it away from a heat source, soapstone actually holds on to warmth for hours, thanks to its high specific heat capacity. This made it, honestly, just perfect for soldiers. A soapstone block could be heated for just a short time, maybe by a camp stove, a vehicle exhaust, or even next to a lit candle, and then wrapped up in cloth or wool. It would quietly radiate warmth all through the night. Plus, it was totally safe to handle and could be reused over and over again. In a lot of cases, engineers and medics actually salvaged soapstone from destroyed buildings, old stoves, or even local quarries. Civilians across Scandinavia and Eastern Europe had been using it for years for things like fireplace linings and bed warmers. So, really WWII, soldiers, just brought back an ancient technology and adapted it for use during the war. There wasn't a single standardized design. Every frontline adaptation depended on what a soldier had available, but the basic concept was always the same: store heat in the stone, trap it in wool, and control its release. Soapstone was easily recognizable by its smooth, almost greasy feel, hence the name soapstone. It could be carved with a knife and didn't splinter. Soldiers often scavenged small chunks, roughly the size of a fist or brick. The stone was placed near any available heat source, next to a stove, over a small cooking flame, or buried under coals for several minutes. It absorbed enough energy to remain warm for hours, yet never reached the dangerous surface temperatures of metal. Once hot, the stone was wrapped in a thick layer of wool or cloth, maybe a sock, a scarf, or even torn uniform padding. This trapped the heat and allowed it to radiate gently, without burning skin or cooling too quickly. Soldiers would tuck these wrapped stones into boots to prevent frostbite, between their knees or under armpits to preserve core heat, or at the foot of their bedding roll. In bunkers, several stones were heated together and arranged in a small pit covered with blankets to create a radiant heat source that could warm an entire crew overnight. The best part? It was completely silent. No smoke, no smell, no risk of detection. Most Allied and Axis troops had few reliable heating options. Portable stoves were heavy and required fuel. Chemical heat packs existed but were rare and short-lived. Candle cans worked, but they emitted carbon monoxide in closed spaces. Soapstone was different. It required no continuous flame, no maintenance, and no replacement parts. Once you had the stone, it was yours for life. A well-prepared soldier could heat one block in the evening and stay warm until morning without alerting the enemy or wasting supplies. In fact, German mountain troops and Finnish ski patrols were known for using soapstone more systematically than anyone else. They even issued small soapstone bed warmers as part of their Arctic field kits, recognizing their efficiency and silence. Soapstone's true power came when paired with wool. Wool traps air naturally, creating a thermal barrier that slows both heat loss and heat gain. When soldiers wrapped their warm soapstone inside wool, they effectively built a portable thermal battery. This combination was so effective that, modern experiments have confirmed its efficiency. A heated soapstone wrapped in thick wool can actually maintain usable warmth for 6 to 8 hours, even in sub-freezing temperatures. It was the ultimate wartime synergy, one natural material storing heat, another preserving it. Both were renewable, reusable, and, honestly, readily available. In a modern setting, this old-school heating hack still has incredible value, especially during power outages, camping trips, or, off-grid living. You can replicate the World War II soapstone method pretty easily. Just get a piece of soapstone. These are actually still sold online for things like stoves, cookware, and even bed warmers. Even smaller, hand-sized pieces work really well. Heat it safely. Place it in an oven at 300 degrees Fahrenheit, or about 150 Celsius for 20 to 30 minutes or near a campfire, but make sure there's no direct flame contact. Then, wrap it in wool. A wool blanket or even a thick sock will do the trick. Just avoid synthetics, since they can melt or trap moisture. Use it as needed. You can keep it at your feet, inside your sleeping bag, or right next to your hands while you're resting. Unlike hot water bottles or electric pads, soapstone never leaks, never runs out, and doesn't need any power. It's honestly the perfect silent heat source when everything else fails. WWII's soapstone heating trick wasn't glamorous. It was born out of necessity, not design. But, it represents one of the most practical, efficient, and sustainable heating methods ever rediscovered in wartime. While today's technology gives us endless gadgets, sometimes the simplest materials still win. Soapstone and wool, a rock and a fabric, kept soldiers alive through some of the coldest nights of the 20th century. And in a blackout, a snowstorm, or a long winter night off the grid, it could do the same for you. Knowledge like this doesn't age. It waits quietly, just like a block of soapstone, storing its strength until it's needed again. If you value lost wartime innovations that still have modern purpose, subscribe to Strange History and share this one with someone who'd appreciate a survival trick that never goes cold.